How's everybody doing?
Good.
Doing all right? Okay, so here's the deal. What I want to talk to you about tonight is actually very personal and something that I haven't actually spoken about publicly to this extent before. And I couldn't really put it in a speech. I'm not really to that level with what I'm talking about to actually put it in a speech. So I decided, since I see the New Voices as kind of an extended family, that I would just talk to y'all and have a conversation. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So first, I want you to imagine yourself being trapped inside of a room. Okay? It's cold. It's very cold, and it's dark. There are no lights, there are no windows, there's nobody there. And you bang against the walls, and you bang, and you yell, and you scream, but nobody hears you. You can't get out. For me, that's what it was like dealing with clinical depression or major depressive disorder. Now let's talk about what depression is and what depression isn't. So what it's not is, well, I had a bad day today. Like, a lot of people have a bad day. You know, I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid today, and I'm super duper broke, right? But you know, I'm not depressed because I didn't get paid today. I don't like the fact that I didn't get paid today, but it didn't work out. When you have 2 consecutive weeks of loss of appetite, inability to sleep, severe irritability, suicidal feelings, hopelessness, loss of interest in anything that you felt was interesting before, those are symptoms of having actual clinical major depression. So for me, I wanted to talk to you about what it actually felt like, because I can easily talk to you in a methodical or clinical way, but I really want to stress the feeling part, because oftentimes, particularly in the Black community, we pretend as if depression doesn't exist. Certain common things we say is, oh, that's white people thing. That's what white people don't express. Or Black people don't go to therapy, we go to church. It's funny because it's true. Or the real good one is, out of all the things the ancestors went through, and you depressed about what? You ain't depressed. You know, so those are things that we say. So, you know, especially as a Black male, it's just something that is not really talked about. Even though 54 million Americans will experience depression at some point in their lifetime. And the National Alliance on Mental Illness says that 1 in 4 people will experience depression just within the next year. For me, when I was in college, I was about 20 or so, I noticed that I stopped doing things. I stopped doing my schoolwork. And then I stopped going to classes. And then I stopped getting out of bed. And I started doing other things. I started smoking weed every day. Started drinking every day. And I would use these things to mask how I felt. And there were a couple things, people said, oh, what causes depression? The whys and the wherefores for each person can be individualized, maybe different, and not necessarily as important, I don't think. For me, I had 3 out of 4 grandparents die in about a 2-year period. You had September 11th happen, then we went into Afghanistan, subsequently went into Iraq. I was Muslim at the time, so I had a lot of issues with that. I felt that the world itself was crumbling, and I did not feel equipped to handle what was going on in my life. If it had not been for one of my advisors, Melanie McAllister, who I'm still thankful to this day, she's the first person who talked to me and told me that I might have an issue. And some of you may know I like to write rhymes, and I wrote a rhyme about it. And these are the rhyme. This is from several years ago. I found this, pulled this out of a notebook, so I wanted to share these with you because I thought that in trying to show how I felt, it'd be more accurate to actually read to you what I wrote when I was feeling it as an expression. I'm starting a fresh page to begin a new chapter. I'm on a quest. Happiness is what I'm after. It seems so elusive, slipping through my fingers. I get it sometimes, but the feeling doesn't linger. About the age of 20 is when it all changed. At the time I didn't know I would hit this next phase. admitted procrastinator. I waited till the last minute. But then it seemed like what I started didn't finish. Started skipping class, wasn't feeling very great, but I hadn't gotten to the level of my current state. My mind wasn't focused. Schoolwork became much harder. After some time, I just figured, why bother? I was trying hard to try, but it just didn't happen. I didn't really understand my circumstances. I went to my advisor for a brief guidance session. She looked at me and said, Talib, I think you have depression. And so from there, I went to the counseling center, and then from there, I went to therapy. And it took me an extra year, but I graduated from GW in 2004, so 2003, which actually still kind of burns me to this day, because will be my 10-year anniversary coming up this year. Then I entered straight into the MPA program, Public Administration at GW. And I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. But after about 6 weeks, I had a second major depressive episode. And what happened was, so this Milano was not actually the first time I've been in a grad program, so that kind of gave me an upper hand when I first got here. So that was good. But I remember walking, if anyone knows the geography of DC, because I was in DC at the time, there's an overpass on P Street, Northwest, between DuPont Circle and Georgetown. And I was working at Greek Affairs, and I got up out of my chair, and I walked to the, I was just walking, and I walked to the overpass, and I looked over. And so I was going to jump. But I thought that, given the depth, I said, well, if I land on a car, I might not die. Then if I land on somebody's windshield, then they'll be traumatized, and that would really suck. And I didn't really want to hurt anybody else. And then I thought, well, if I land on the pavement, then someone's going to run me over, and it might only really be 15 feet, so this really might not work out. So I remember putting my foot up on the ledge to try to see if, try to start to make that motion, but I decided to just keep on walking. And then I ended up checking into the outpatient program at Georgetown University Hospital. And I really had to thank Kate Wilson, who was been my best friend for years, and even though I haven't always treated her the best. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. I wasn't eating, I wasn't bathing, I wasn't getting out of bed, and she basically took care of me for years. All I wanted to do every day was get high or get drunk, because I couldn't deal with the pain of just existing, just being. I couldn't escape from life. It's like Hamlet's soliloquy, to be or not to be, that is the question. But it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or by taking up arms and by opposing them, by taking up arms to see of troubles and by opposing end them. And that's really how I felt for years. Even though I had a job, I had a nice job, a good paying job. And, but I just couldn't, sometimes I would take a couple shots of vodka before work because I just couldn't deal with it. But clearly that's not the case now, right? So there are three things which really helped me get through this. People, perspective, and prayer. So the perspective part of it was going to therapy. And I highly recommend people go to therapy. Everyone should go to therapy. Just go. Just do it. Okay? You go to the doctor, go to therapy. Just do it. 3 books I recommend helping with perspective. 1, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. 2, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. 3, Who Moved My Cheese? People say it's a pot management book. I'm telling you, it helped me out. Learning how to deal with the things that are within my control, not within my control. Staying within the moment. Dealing with change as life changes. These 3 books help me with perspective. People. I mentioned Kate Wilson, and I really can't thank her enough. And again, I said that I didn't treat her the best as my friend. It's a whole other conversation. But she literally saved my life. And having people there, because none of my other friends saw it. Nobody saw it when I was smoking every day or drinking every day. They just thought I like to drink and smoke all the time. Or I stopped getting haircuts and just stopped dressing. I wore the same hooded sweatshirt, not like this. It was a different hooded sweatshirt that I wore every single day, and I didn't wash it. No one ever questioned what was going on. And then prayer. The only way I was able to stop drinking and smoking was I prayed on it. And I wasn't even ascribed to a particular religion, but I just had to pray every day, God, please take this away from me, because I can't do it by myself. and I haven't drunk or smoked since January 2007. So, it's been about almost 6 years. Thank you very much. So I won't take up too much time as I'm going over. But the point that I want to make to you is, for one, is pay attention to people around you. If it hadn't been for about 2 or 3 people in my life, I wouldn't be here. The other thing is to get help yourself. Okay? It's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. Okay? You have a friend, or maybe it's you. Every day they want to go to happy hour, or every day they want to smoke a blunt, and you just think that's what it is. That's not just what it is. Get help. The National Alliance for Mental Illness, NAMI.org, check them out. They can help get you hooked up. Another thing I want to leave you with is, never give up. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. The day that you give up might have been the day that your life would have been different, or that someone else's life would have been different because of you. I've been here in the New Voice, and I've loved my time here. I've loved my time at Milano, and I think that I've been able to have some positive effect on others. I've been able to do a lot of activism that I haven't been able to do. I'm an influence in my nieces and nephews' lives that I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't here physically. So don't ever give up. And on May 11th, the National Alliance on Mental Illness is having a NAMI walk. And last year, I signed up, and it was just me, because I didn't really put together a team, because I wasn't really comfortable talking about this. But it's time we talk about it, because we don't. People die. So, if anyone wants to join me, once I do get paid, I'm going to set up my registration for my team, and I'll send the link around. But so you put it in your calendar now. It's Saturday, May 11th. It's like a 5K walk. It's a great day. We'll raise money and awareness for mental illness. And everybody stand up. Stand up. See, what you did right now, that's all it takes. It's that first step. There are going to be stops and starts. There are going to be times when you want to quit, when things seem too tough and too challenging. But just how you stood, that's that first step. That's what you have to take. So hopefully we'll all be taking steps together on Saturday, May 11th.